Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, we are confronting an incredibly challenging security environment, which requires us to make tough choices and set priorities. One of the elements of our national security that I think we often take for granted is the power we gain from military alliances around the world. I appreciate and agree with the part of your report that said that our partnerships, quote, further the ability of free nations of the world to speak and act together in a united front against threats. But let's be honest, the main thrust of this report is advocating for a nuclear arms race. You recommend we, quote, fund and overhaul an expansion, close quote, of our nuclear weapons industrial base to buy more weapons than we're currently planning, as well as starting risky new programs. So let me start. Ms. Creedon, did the Commission develop any cost estimates for implementing its recommendations?
We did not, Senator.
So we just don't have a cost estimate for this, because I didn't see one in the report. So would it be safe to guess that we are talking about tens of billions of dollars, if not more?
So we are certainly talking about more money, but I
get more money. I'm saying, is it like tens of billions more or more than that?
But the thing that's important is that we are
I'm trying to get that. I understand that. And what I'm trying to get is how much it costs. Because if we're going to prioritize, we need to know how much money we're spending. So is your answer yes, that we could expect it to cost more than tens of billions of dollars?
Of course it could, but it also depends on what those decisions are.
Well, and that's why we're trying to evaluate it. And if we had cost estimates, it might be helpful. You know, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that our current nuclear weapons spending plans will already cost an average, the current plans, of $75 billion a year. And look, I'm willing to spend what it takes to keep America safe, but I am certainly not comfortable with a blank check for programs that already have a history of gross mismanagement. One of the programs the Commission endorses fully funding is nuclear pit production, which are these radioactive cores for nuclear weapons. The National Nuclear Security Administration doesn't know how much it's going to cost and won't have a reliable plan for the program for at least another year. So here we are spending billions of dollars without even a plan in place. Did the Commission recommend any areas for spending cuts to help pay for the recommendations that you advanced?
So, Senator, we took the approach that we have a long-term problem, and we laid out recommendations for how to address this long-term problem. We did not pick specific winners or losers, but we recommended that the department do the analysis
I'm sorry,
determine
the winners are, let's just spend all the money you want to spend. And the question I had was, did you recommend any areas for spending cuts to help pay for the recommendations you're advancing?
So we recommended looking at how we do procurement. So it may not be necessarily
did you recommend
a
cuts?
It may not be, but it's how to do this smarter so we don't spend as much money, we don't unnecessarily spend money. That's where we also need to focus is how we do this better and how we do this smarter.
But we start this with priorities. Forgive me, but we can't prioritize if we don't know how much or even an estimate of how much things are going to cost. You know, back in 2018, the National Defense Strategy Commission was at least honest about how they were going to pay for it. They said they would cut the social safety net of that American workers paid into and deserve to receive. And it's no secret that I support the Biden administration's goal of reducing the role of nuclear weapons in our defense strategy. It is a serious failure of this report that it does not reckon with the serious costs and dangers of accelerating a nuclear arms race. As we continue to debate our nuclear posture, I think it's important to understand also how North Korea and other rogue regimes are paying for their nuclear programs. Experts estimate that half of North Korea's missile program is paid for through crypto crime. Your report rightly flags this problem, noting that North Korea stole about $1.7 billion in 2022 alone and used that to fund more than half of its missile program. I just note that I have a bill with Senator Marshall, Senator Manchin, Senator Graham, and a dozen more senators to crack down on the use of crypto in sanctions evasions. If we want to stop our enemies, then we need to give regulators the tools they need to crack down on how they're financed. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Senator
Chairman.